The first flowering plants didn't resemble any flowers we know today. They didn't have petals, they didn't have fragrance, they weren't beautiful. They simply were functional.
To understand why this fossil that looks nothing like a flower could be one of the world's, you have to understand what the function of flowers is.
They're all about sex. Yeah, flowers are all about sex, that's for sure. They're managing the reproductive biology for the plant. And the reproductive biology happens to be a sexual process.
To illustrate the basic sex life of a flower, we can use a lily. There are, of course, the recognizable petals, but at its center are the real stars. The stamens are the male parts that produce pollen. The pistil is the female part that contains the ovaries. Plants have elaborate strategies to avoid self-pollination, like the female part ripening at a different time than the male pollen. When the pollen from another flower lands on the pistil, usually deposited by a passing insect, a pollen tube grows down, carrying the sperm to the egg, and reproduction takes place, producing seeds inside of a fruit. The pretty flower, therefore, with those recognizable petals and scent, is really just good packaging.
Flowering plants were the first advertisers in the world. They put out beautiful petals, colorful patterns. They put out fragrances. And they gave a reward, such as nectar or pollen, for the insect that would come and visit them. And what were they advertising? They were advertising the sexual organs, the female parts and the male parts that were hidden or positioned within the center of this flower. So if they could attract these mobile pollinators to come and mess around, crawl around, feed in this flower, pick up pollen on the legs, pick up pollen on the body, and then fly to another flower some distance away and repeat this process, they could effectively carry their male genetic material in the pollen grain to another flower